you knew bees were coming. It's interesting that I think there was actually a fair amount of bees at this tournament, and it worked out to be a pretty effective meta call. So, if bees is a good meta call, of course Jimmy's going to do well at a tournament.
Yep.
I'm super stoked to watch this because I did not get to watch the stream last night. Come on, more people got to watch Twitch. What was I missing? I was sleeping on that, and I regret it.
Well, the game has started. Jimmy will be going first. He's opened up with the Tapu Lele in the active. Probably the worst place for it because it never gets a chance to be in your hand and, of course, activate one attack.
And he doesn't want to bench 2 prizes unless he absolutely has to. That Tapu Lele is only in there if he's like desperate for the draw. So he's filled with the sorrow, I'm sure. But he discarded 2 Pokemon right off the bat, and. Yep. Yeah, out comes the friendly dice to help us keep track of the most important thing in his discard.
Yeah, those are so essential to make sure we can keep a count on those. Really easy to see exactly how much those Vespercoins will be doing later in the game. Setting up quite nicely, he gets a combi out, of course, with the Pokemon in the discard. Gets a Shaman out for some setup as well, following with another combi, so his bench looking pretty plentiful. The Farewell Letter as well. Just another card in the hand. He's gone through a good amount of his deck already, getting that damage count up. He is staring down the terrifying Sudowoodo and Buzzwole, the baby Buzzwole, as it's been popularly known. But a big Juniper there. More Pokemon in the discard, maybe, or just a ton of items. We didn't see a ton of the
he
dice.
only flashed that for a second. It seemed like it was a lot of trainers and not a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, we didn't see the dice turn, so no benefit to him there, but I think he's pretty comfortable in this setup right now. Knows he just wants to be hitting those numbers as soon as turn 2. Comes over to James, who's going to get his Brooklet Hill down. That's what you like to see turn 1 when you're playing one of these fighting-type decks. Can pull that out.
Yeah.
What do we think he's having a hunt for?
I assume he's looking for the Buzzwole GX. I assume the strategy in this game is he's going to start jet punching and put pressure on Jimmy to find evolutions for Vespiquen. Vespiquen only has 90 hit points.
So, I mean, even if you land a jet punch on one, you're always within at least 3 jet punches. He does have a couple of options in there, but he only plays that single Buzzwole GX. He has gone for the split, of course, with the Landorus EX as well, way back from Boundaries Crossed. That's quite something.
29 Pokemon in Jimmy O'Brien's deck. I think that's considered the kind of classic amount at this point for Pokemon in a Vespiquen deck. I recognize for many players at home, they come from this modality of like 20 Pokemon, 20 trainers, 20 energies. It was like the 1.0 of deck building logic, and they've since seen it evolve to running a lot of trainers and generally few Pokemon and generally a small amount of energy. I mean, James is only running 11 Pokemon. Vespiquen, its attack is fueled by the number of Pokemon in the discard. He is going to be jettisoning a ton of Pokemon. Here comes the Battle Compressor.
Yeah, Jimmy's got Pokemon to spare. We do see James while he's in there actually go for the Landorus. I was talking to Michael actually before this game came on about how he's gone for that split of Landorus and Buzzwole, and it's nice that he pulls out the Landorus. He may have seen Jimmy's game or know a little bit about this deck, and he is going to have to be a little bit wary of that Mew EX. So with that in mind, keep it safe from getting hit for weakness. The Landorus having a water-type weakness, which isn't going to be such a problem. That Pokemon count, though, after the compressor, all the way up to, is that 8 or 9?
9.
9. So that's, you're doing the damage you need right there. That's a whole heap of damage.
Yeah, just so the viewers at home realize, I always opt for the seat closest to the monitor because I'm old and I reap that benefit. So we all have to struggle equally to see what's going on the screen.
I think it's fair. I think I've got a few
That's
years
very
on you.
fair. That's very fair. Age before beauty.
Oh, thank you, Brent.
There you go.
So kind.
It's tough. I recognize maybe I should have ceded my seat to Trainer Chip. You guys are going to get a lot of witticisms on this particular stream
It's
today.
going to be wild. We're up to 10 in that Pokemon count for Vespiquen. There's the Vespiquen and another combi. Nice full bench for Jimmy and another.
And it's time to Juniper.
Another Pokemon going in with the Juniper as well. He's rolled the dice up to 11
Yeah, now his bench is full. He's not going to be able to Shaman to draw more cards. He'd like to find a way to retreat the Tapu Lele and get moving.
Yep, he gets another Vespiquen into play. It would be nice to just take the knockout on there immediately. Grabs the float stone.
Finds the DCE.
There it is.
He's getting going.
Yep, that's exactly what he needed. He can bench again next turn, but Jimmy O'Brien taking the first prize of this game, and Landorus is It's going to need a couple of turns to work its way through a Vespiquen.
You know, I've noticed Jimmy does this every game. He tilts those bottom 2 prizes sideways.
Well, he had it on yesterday.
Yeah, did we
we
have
asked,
an analysis there? Yeah.
So I went and asked, and I said, hey, is there like a prize penalty in play or anything? And no, it's actually just personal preference.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand exactly what that thing symbolizes, but it is his thing.
I think maybe they're tilted kind of towards him, so he's on that final furlong for victory. He can pick them up quicker.
Yeah, it's interesting. So yesterday, did he do the same thing where he doesn't take those prizes?
Yeah,
first?
he leaves those for last.
He leaves those for last. That is fascinating and somewhat crazy.
Well, on sleeve analysis, we just have to take a moment to appreciate James's. Do blend in a little bit, but very nice nonetheless.
Oh yeah.
I also appreciate how they both dressed to match the playmat. That was
very
wise.
thoughtful.
Well, we've been talking though. There has been the Diancie Prism Star put into play for James, so going to be able to try and build up a little more damage that way. One of those new additions we've seen people play with other kind of damage buffs that they've been trying to get through.
That's generally speaking, with the exception of the Shaman and the Tapu Lele, and the Mew EX, if the Mew EX makes an appearance. Yeah, his choice bands are going to be somewhat useless.
Right.
So, at least for killing Vespiquens. So, he's looking for ways to be able to, at the very least, 2-shot. If he could find some strong energies, he could improve his damage output even a little more than that.
Yeah, that'd be really nice if he can find those strong energies, but sometimes you just don't run into them. He does have a plethora of specials.
He finds the muscle band. That's going to put him at 70. So if he'd been able to find a strong energy, he would have been able to one-shot the active while chipping
not
the
quite
bench.
there.
Yeah.
It's nice, though, being able to do that much with just a simple addition. Just the Diancie. You were going to be playing a muscle band or a choice band anyway, just in case you run into the single prize.
Right.
So, making a change, a little bit more effective than Regirock.
This field blower play is a big play here because it helps you, getting that muscle band off the board is going to keep him from being able to take one-shots unless he has multiple energy attachments.
Right, we do see the choice band, which will be valuable for Jimmy, attached to his Vespiquen there. That doesn't quite get him there for Landorus. Yeah,
he's right there.
Not there yet. Needs to find another way to get that discard pile just bumped up.
I see a Versus Seeker in Jimmy's hand. If he Junipers, he's probably going to get the piece he needs.
Yeah, he's just got to be smart.
You can't imagine
about it.
with such a turbo engine like that, he's not going to be able to find his way there.
There's the Seeker. We see Juniper brought to the front. And there it is, the Shaman's in the hand as well. He's up to 14 Pokemon, 140 starting damage plus the choice band. That's 170. He's there.
Jimmy has just gone off in the first 2 turns. I think having 14 Pokemon in the discard is really sending a message.
Yeah, well, he is going to be going
and
back
he's got
through.
3 Vespiquens out.
Yeah, but look how many cards are in the deck. There's nothing in there.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the miracle of these compressor engines, right? I think I was explaining to a kind of first-time Pokemon player. This is his first regional ever, just during the last round while Chip and Michael were streaming, kind of how decks worked and how to build a synergistic deck. And I think the miracle of these battle compressor-based decks is, you're discarding Pokemon that fuel your attack. And this is how Night March and Vest can work. And you're thinning your deck, so every card you draw has a higher probability of being the cards you need to win.
Right.
So you get kind of 2 perks, and that's nearly overpowering.
Well, the engines put Jimmy up 3 prizes already, taking the knockout there on that Landorus EX. He's just got all the pieces he needs. I mean, yeah, he's going to be slowed down a bit taking on these singular Buzzwole right now. That's going to be really nice for him, just easy to knock those out. Doesn't really have to reach for it right now.
Well, and
he has a Vespiquen for every prize.
Because there was because he was able to take 2 prizes there, he's below 4 prizes, so the baby Buzzwole can't swing for 120.
Yep, that's Sledgehammer.
It's not able to, he can't use the Sledgehammer attack.
I've talked to a few players about it, actually, and they say, how do you fare against the baby Buzzwole? And a lot of people just say, well, you just don't give them the 4 prize option. Simply put, you take a single prize early doors, and then you just take an EX or GX out of play, and you've completely negated the attack Sledgehammer.
Right. I mean, easy to say. in practice, probably a little bit trickier, but because James started the Sudowoodo and Jimmy was able to really hit the turbo button,
Right.
it made all the difference.
Well, he didn't need to hit it. I mean, Sudowoodo's one of those easier ones to knock out from there.
Yeah.
So, probably pretty pleased when he saw that one come down.
Exactly.
Gonna have a rummage
There's
through the
probably there's no easier KOs to be taken in James's deck.
No, I think that is the lowest hit point.
Yeah.
Maybe Oricorio, is that slightly lower?
No, it's 90.
Yeah.
Or Sudowoodo 100?
Sudowoodo's 100, so yeah, Oricorio, that's 90. So, would have been nice. I mean, Jimmy's really hit everything.
Yeah, and Jimmy's been able to really smoothly draw through his deck without setting up Zoroarks. And he runs that 4-4 Zoroark line. It's fighting weak. I think his preference is to not bench it if he doesn't need to. He hasn't needed to.
He's completely left it at home, thrown it all in the discard, and all of those Zoroarks used to being, used for trades.
Right.
Why trade? You can just put it in there, use it for the damage that you need.
Right. He's been able to draw through his deck with no problems. And trade is the kind of thing that has a really good synergy in this deck, in that you can just discard Pokemon and then draw more cards. So it's fueling that kind of deadly combo of thinning your deck and giving you the engine.
Well, James will get on the board there. Has decided to finally, that weakened Vespiquen from earlier will be taken out by the Sledgehammer on this active Buzzwole. Just the baby one, not the GX that we're used to seeing. But it's not safe. I mean, as long as the energies keep coming for Jimmy here, he's going to be able to keep on going. If there was a fight back that involved a lot of jet punches, maybe, it wouldn't be an option right now, as Mr. Mime takes the field for Jimmy, so he's only going to be able to attack the active. Those benches are safe, and I think this shows, as we head towards game 2, what an uphill battle James is going to have. If he wants to be weakening up these combis, these Vespiquens with jet punch from Buzzwole, or the equivalent from Landorus EX, the Hammerhead, he's going to struggle as soon as the Mr. Mime comes out.
You got to imagine James is going to scoop it up in a second.
Yeah, there's really not too many other options. The powered-up Buzzwole on the bench that was ready to try and deal a little more damage is Lysandred up, taken out of play.
He's trying to hold off benching another GX so he can force Jimmy to play the 7-prize game, but he just doesn't have enough gas to take a knockout this turn if he's just going to let him go knocking out Pokemon.
Well, he goes for the Oricorio.
Oh, the Oricorio is a great play.
Yeah, he can really try.
With 16 Pokemon in the discard, he's going to be able to take a double knockout here on 2 Vespiquens.
Yeah, this Oricorio swings it around.
The game.
This gets really nasty really quickly, actually.
I assume he's got the energy in hand as well, because he was willing to discard that energy.
Yeah, he must have something ready to go for it.
Oh, no, he played a letter to get those energies. I'm sorry.
I see it on the top of the discard there. So there he goes.
That's bad commentating.
Happens to the best of us. And me.
Oh my God! The jokes just keep coming. People, this is why you love this stream.
Anyway,
somebody tell Ninja's viewers the funny people are over here.
I've never even tried Fortnite. I don't even know what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, I have a 6th grader, so my 6th grader is basically all in on Fortnite and all in on Ninja. I told him he should come try commentate the stream with us, because we have 400 viewers, and he was like, Ninja has 100,000 right now. Why would I start 400?
But is he in sunny Roanoke, Virginia?
Exactly. I said, hey, Ninja has to start somewhere.
They do. They all do.
Yeah.
We do see, I think it's the math now, as he leans over the table, looking over the spectacles, making sure he gets those counts correct. Trying to think, maximize his knockouts. Does bring up the Mr. Mime into the active.
I think what he's going to do here is he's going to double knock out both the Vespiquens and try to strand the Mr. Mime in the active.
Right. Here we go. Counts are on. Oh.
He's got 1 left. Yeah.
Yep, there it is. So those are the knockouts. Those Vespiquens are gone.
Yeah, wow.
There it is. This game's much closer now. That Oricorio coming through for James, being able to take advantage of this vast amount of prizes in the discard.
Guys,
Pokemon in the discard.
If you were thinking you had the worst commentators going on, I'm sure if Trainer Chip had been here, he would have said Oricorio is coming hours and hours ago.
Well,
much like you guys, much like Jimmy, that Oricorio came out of nowhere for us. That's a big play.
That's a huge play. And it basically means now that Jimmy's forced to, at least switch it out, because he can just keep Supernatural dancing. He is now at 20 Pokemon in the discard.
Yeah, I mean...
he literally just added 4 with the Vespiquen Combi, and now, it's so easy to pick up knockouts on these EXs and GXs. Anything more, I mean, he takes one of these, he leaves him with a mere Shaman and a Mr. Mime, for example. You can't really even go after him with the Energy Drive. It's just going to be a little bit too long. Jimmy computer searching
I think
3 of his cards.
If I was Jimmy, I think the question is how many Pokemon are in James's discard. His question is, can he grab Mew and DCE and then copy Supernatural Dance back at James?
Well, you have to
knock
hope
out the
it wasn't
Oricorio.
prized. He did computer search. We didn't get to see what he took. He's going to grab a Guzma. So we haven't seen the Mew. I don't know if it's, tucked away. There it is.
Mew DCE.
There's the Guzma. So it's into the active. He can probably tidy this up. Or he can at least get very, very close.
No, he's forced to just copy Energy Drive. He doesn't have the...
No, he's copying how many are in his opponent's discard. So he doesn't get to take advantage of
Right. Well, I think all he did was copy Energy Drive because there were not enough Pokemon in the discard to be able to kill the Oricorio. So he knew it was coming. James showed that he was able to retreat his Pokemon, and Jimmy said, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
On to the next game.
I see the Oricorio is on the way there, so do we think Jimmy's going to have to play around that again? There's really, honestly, not an option to play around Oricorio.
Well, I think much like Night March, you can always play around the Oricorio if you know it's coming, and you're definitely going to see Jimmy change his strategy to adapt to that in this next game. But you're right. I mean, I think Oricorio was such a hard counter because with Vespiquen, you only do 10 damage for discarded Pokemon versus Night March. Like Night Marchers, I think the conventional wisdom is you can always play around Oricorio because if you only discard 8 Night Marchers and you're hitting for 160 and you throw a Muscle Band on, you're hitting for a Choice Band on, you're hitting for 190. That's good damage output, and he can't double knock out a Pumpkaboo and a Joltik or knock out 2 Pumpkaboos. But with Vespiquen, you just have to discard a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, that is your only option, is to fill that discard.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, every 10 points of damage that you do is 10 points of damage they can do with the Oricorio. You got to have a plan for that.
And they can put it wherever they want. They don't have to be putting it down just on the active like a Vespiquen would.
Yeah,
It really
certainly
goes
Jimmy's primary strategy is going to be forcing James to prize the Oricorio.
As I say, if he can, with the cut, try and weave that in there. I don't condone shuffling of that ilk. Good thorough shuffles from all players involved, please. Good.
I've noticed Jimmy do this before. This kind of like underhand rifle is it seems like it does a good job shuffling. For me, frankly, I don't quite even understand the mechanics of how he does it. It's a unorthodox technique.
But does it sufficiently randomize the cards?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's kind of smashing the decks together. It seems pretty well shuffled to me. It's just the weird unorthodox hand technique is disturbing to me.
Well, James isn't convinced. He's having a little shuffle of his own of Jimmy's deck.
So that's how James is shuffling it. I mean, my kids have small hands, so they're like, when they first started playing Pokemon, they couldn't shuffle at all, and that was how I taught them to shuffle. They drop the 2 decks on top of each other. And
the mass shuffle. That's my go-to.
That's a classic, right? But I'm always surprised when people can do that thing sideways, because it seems like you don't have gravity assisting you. Why would you not, reap the benefits of gravity? All right, they're setting up.
Yeah, they are.
Jimmy has tilted his last 2 prizes at a 45-degree angle.
Well, we've got the key components both out in the active to start. The Oricorio, which we talked about being very, very essential for James, as it was in the last game, is right there in the active. So it's not going to be able to come in late when there's 19, 20 Pokemon in the discard for Jimmy. He's going to have to try and fight now. And James, probably wants to try and find a way to conserve that, but I don't think he has one, really, apart from...
He is a rescue stretcher.
Right.
This is the quality commentary people are looking for. The key thing you need to know right now is that Oricorio is going to die in a hot second, but it's going to be okay. James does not mind. He has the stretcher.
He needs that stretcher. He's got to get the stretcher at the right time, though. I mean, that's the problem. What if he draws the rescue stretcher now and he has to juniper it away? It really changes the way he plays his hands because...
You know what's interesting is I don't think he worries about that too much because he plays 4 Karinas and 4 Seekers, so he has a way to grab items from his deck. As long as he didn't prize the stretcher, this can go down no problem, and then he can just at any moment, Karina, grab the stretcher, grab the Oricorio. If he has an energy in hand, he's off to the races.
Yeah, that's something he's going to need to be doing late in the game. We do see the Mew given the float stone, so probably not going to be left up there too long. Probably wants to save it till it can attack in something like a Buzzwole. As does appear to be the Zorua left in the active at the end of this turn. Maybe trying to bait James into knocking it out, just to get it in the discard.
Yeah, he did not have the super turbo turn 1 that he had last game.
Again, James is going to be able to Brooklet Hill, heading on into that deck. Looking for one of those fighting Pokemon or water Pokemon if they're in there. I don't think there's any, but just in case there was, the option is open to him.
Yeah, I think you can expect Jimmy to use Brooklet Hill every turn that it's out there because all these players like to look at their decks. I mean, you're always trying to think about what's prized, what resources do I have available for this matchup, what's my strategy supposed to be, and I think it's very comforting for a player to feel like they can pick up their deck once a turn and just look at it.
Yeah, it's actually one of the nicest mechanics of Brooklet Hill, of course, because your deck is secret information, and you can't guarantee that they are guaranteed to fail it. You can just say, "Oh, I'm looking for one to see if it's in there," and
I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I think one of the things that newer players in the game, and even players who aren't so new, are always talking about is how at the top tiers of the game, these guys are figuring out their prizes early and have a strategy for that. The opportunity to do kind of random deck searches and check for cards as you let your strategy evolve over the course of the game makes a big difference.
Yep, well, the Landorus is got with the Brooklet Hill. He is going to play a Guzma to get that into the active. Big thing here, takes the knockout on the combi. The Zoroark is safe, though, because of that Mr. Mime. As Mew EX, we talked about it a little bit earlier. The fact is, Mew EX isn't hitting a Landorus for super effective damage, so you know what? It's probably a better pick right now, and the options to copy, kind of limited.
Oh, he attaches to the Zoroark. I think that speaks to the fact that he's probably going to have to Juniper in a second, and he thought, I choose not to throw this DCE away.
Yeah, that's a pretty essential card. Clear indication that this strategy is going to be different.
Attacking with Zoroark is not what he's trying to do. He's probably going to grab a Shaman here. He thinned his hand out by attaching the DCE. And he's going to push a little harder because he did not have the turn 1 he wanted to. And so it's time to get going.
Yeah, he really needs to push on in this one. Another good look through the deck.
Is he grabbing a Shaman or a Lele?
He's got
I think that'll be a testament to how much faith he has in the cards he has in hand.
Yeah, I think that'll be quite telling. He does actually go for the Zoroark, so neither of the above.
So he probably has the supporter in hand. He's going to trade. Oh, he's got the Lele in hand.
Yep, he's
grabs a Guzma, and he's going to slaughter the
poor
Oricorio.
Oricorio. Force it to be brought back by Rescue Stretcher a little bit later.
He needs to bench another Pokemon to be able to take the knockout, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the Oricorio's got 90 hit points.
Oh.
No? I guess is it Dark Week or is it Psychic Week?
That would be the kicker there.
Hey, you know what? We don't have you on the engineering team, so that Oricorio card is not coming up like clockwork.
Hits him for the knockout. That's the key thing right there.
Are there terrible things you want to say about the engineering team right now?
No, not at all, actually.
Oh my goodness. So missed opportunity.
Very pleasant. Confirmation, it is weak to dark.
Oh!
There it is.
I am sure you people
I
in the
was
chat
like
are
pretty
just calling us out right now. I
Oh,
thought it was Psychic
100%.
Week. I thought the Mew could KO it, and that was like part of the strategy here. So that's what I get. I'm sure you people on the chat are saying, my God, I could do a better job commentating. And I got to tell you, we actually knew all of that, and we didn't say it because we wanted to give you guys the opportunity to have something to do on chat.
A little bit of suspense.
Yeah, we don't want to get anybody
The only
not feeling
concern
fulfilled.
I have right now is he has left a Zoroark in the active against a lot of fighting type Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean,
Now I know that is weak to fight.
he would love to find a strong and a choice band here and KO the Zoroark. He'd have a lot invested in the Landorus, but Jimmy's board state is not good right now.
No, I mean you've got a Mew EX which isn't hitting for weaknesses.
And really all he could do is copy Energy Drive with that Mew, given what's on the board right now. And an Energy Drive versus Landorus with 2 Strongs is not going to get him where he wants to be. Then he's an Energy Attachment away from Land's Judgment, KOing the Mew, and the board state's a disaster. He wouldn't even attack with the Mew, he'd attack with the Tapu Lele because it just doesn't help.
Yeah, it's something that he's going to need to try and think of his way out. But, what are we on? Turn 2, turn 3. How many combis are you seeing?
Yeah.
0. There's just none in play.
Jimmy's board state has just evolved glacially.
He had a combi for a while.
Yeah.
And then it got knocked out.
What's interesting is he really invested a lot of resources in going after that Oricorio. The Tapu Lele for Guzma instead of Tapu Lele for Juniper, and trying to really continue to evolve his board state, appears to have cost him a bit. And it's an interesting choice. In what we know here on stream that he does not know is James has the Rescue Stretcher, and the Oricorio is coming back.
At some point.
Jimmy is thinking, I now I have a little bit of a window to evolve my board state, but frankly, he's not going to be able to make that big comeback, it would seem.
It looks a little dicey.
Right.
He is going to go for the
Seeker for Juniper.
Combi's just put in there, not even benched.
Yeah.
See
He's
what he
like,
pulls off
let's
this.
go.
Yeah, he needs to get through more of his deck a little bit quicker now. Zoroark's just not going to be able to get there on this Landorus right now, so
Yeah,
it's
and
another turn where he's probably going to lose Zoroark next time around.
I assume Jimmy is somewhat confident. Like, he's probably aware of the possibility that James has for having a Rescue Stretcher, some ability to bring back a Pokemon, but I think he also knows that if he doesn't start KOing stuff, James just going to get away from him.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his board and
Yeah.
literally...
I mean, the Zoroark's going down next turn.
Of those top-line Pokemon, the Vespiquen and the Zoroark, they're both 4/4 lines, and he doesn't have much of it. He has one Zoroark to show for it, which just once that goes down next turn, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so the good news for Jimmy is, God forbid James had been able to find the strong in the choice last turn and had one-shotted that Zoroark. I mean, he either would have had to pass or he would have had to attach one of his precious DCs to the Tapu Lele to Energy Drive the Landorus, and it wouldn't have been a knockout. Here, he's going to be able to attack with the Zoroark again this turn, so he can bench a bunch of combis, attack with the Zoroark, benching the combis ups his damage, and he doesn't take the knockout, but at least he's getting damage on the field and setting up the combis as opposed to just passing and watching James hammer as a Pokemon. And James will have the choice of, do I want to Guzma up this Combi and kill it, or do I want to KO the Zoroark? Jimmy's able to get 2 Combis down. That's got to help him feel good because he's like, okay, it's not going to be a double KO this turn. He's not going to be able to get them both. I will have a Vespiquen next turn.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's giving up those prizes to do that. I don't see why James... he could gun for the Combis, that'd be great, but he also just has that juicy 2-prize knockout left in the active for him right now, and you've got to say, that looks kind of tempting. The only thing he could do nicely with the Combis would be if he managed to pull one up with the Guzmas. It'd be interesting just to leave him with that potential 1 Vespiquen. But you've also got to remember, the number of prizes is essential in this game.
$120
120 off the copy of the Riotous Beating there from Mew. Didn't want to leave that Zoroark in the active to take the hit, but,
Right,
James
didn't want
may
to
have
give
the
away
option.
2 prizes.
Not right now, no.
Yeah.
But in the future, it's interesting.
Now James is not benching Buzzwoles because he's scared of the Mew as well.
Oh, he's got to wait for that Mew to be cleared out. But he's benching the baby Buzzwoles tentatively. Ooh.
Yeah.
Should be a possibility for James to just start knocking things out soon. You know, we don't know what he has in way of bringing that Zoroark up to the front. He is powering up on the baby Buzzwoles with a strong energy, not the regular fighting. So both of them will be good to start sledgehammering as soon as possible. Really not many cards in the discard for James. He's managed to play everything that comes to him, play it down, use it.
Letters for 2 more energies.
Make sure that hand's nice and full. Probably an indication of what he may be drawing as the supporter.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I suspect what he's trying to do is just thin out his deck to improve his draws a little bit. He only takes 1 energy off the letter.
Yep, keeping it minimal. Maybe knowing what he has to do.
No, I think he took 2.
Nah, they were just side by side.
Yeah, they're stacked up in the deck.
That's a VS Seeker. And that's a Guzma that he pulls off it.
Yeah. Is he going after the Zoroark, or is he going to start continuing to target down the Combees?
I think taking the knockout on Zoroark would probably be his way to go here. Just because it's 2 big prizes, it seems very worth it at that juncture. But
I agree. I agree.
You know, putting yourself ahead in the prizes is never really a bad thing. Unless he's trying to play around, making sure he's got the 4 prizes that he needs. It is going to be the combi. And Sledgehammer doesn't need its damage buff to deal with this.
He's got the Diancie to give him the extra damage he needs to get there.
Yeah, I mean, this is big now. Because now Sledgehammer, he's kind of trying, I think, to leave. He's trying to get Jimmy to knock out his Buzzwole, the baby one, so that then he can bring up the other Buzzwole, the one with the strong energy, and the Diancie will be powering up as well.
I mean, his strategy will be to bust out the B string, right? I mean, he's trying to put him at 4 prizes so he can do his magic dance.
Yeah, he really wants that to happen sooner rather than later. So you got to think Jimmy's going to play around that. Jimmy's going to try and look for that Landorus on the bench. But again, it's forcing him to play a certain way, which may not be too suitable right now.
Yeah, and James is playing this really smart because he's trying to use the 1 prize attackers to trade with him, and he's trying to kind of theory, how do I kind of keep putting myself in situations where I'm able to attack with 1 prize attackers and trade effectively. So the fact that he can use the Diancie damage output to use a Sledgehammer to take a knockout on a Combi, that's trading 1 for 1, and that's Vespiquen's game, right?
Right.
I mean, he wants to hit you with a 1 prize attacker that's hitting for 200 and put you in a situation where you have to attack back with a 2 prize attacker to keep on pace. So James is doing a good job of playing this well.
Yeah, I think James is.
It's not his first rodeo.
Definitely not. It's his 3rd time on stream this weekend. He's like I said, he switched seats.
Yes, he committed to getting the W here. I mean, keep in mind, this is the win and in. I mean, the person that pulls this off gets to advance the top 8.
Well, Jimmy does Lysander up that Landorus EX, and those 4 prizes have been skipped over pretty joyfully.
Yeah.
As he takes that out with an energy drive.
So he's not going to be able to Sledgehammer, and you can tell that James is feeling a little bit of sorrow at this turn of events. The question is, will he Brooklet for a Buzzwole GX and find some B strings to really get after it now?
Yeah, just absolutely pop off in a single turn.
Right. Now, it's hard because the Mew is still on the bench.
Right.
And what he would want to do, even if he's able to get there, is probably try to target down the Combi again.
So many options for what he wants to do.
Yeah, at some level, I think it's the B string Buzzwole GX is not even necessary. If he had put the other, you know what? It doesn't matter which baby Buzzwole he puts up because the Diancie gives him the numbers to knock out the Combi.
Right.
I mean, I think the important thing he wants to do this turn is kill the Combi. That way, Mew EX can never copy Vespiquen's attack, And if he's stuck energy driving and Riot is speeding, he's not going to get there.
No, it's particularly if something big comes out. We are going to see energy attached to the baby Buzzwole, maybe looking for a swing around later in the game. Has anyone been swinging around this weekend? How many people do you think have gone
swing
for
around's a bad attack. I don't think I've seen anyone use. You know what? That's not true. I saw someone use swing around with a choice band to kill a Zoroark GX. It's an easy thing, right? I mean, I think everybody assumes that a 3 energy flippy attack kind of by its nature sounds like a horrible thing, but the fact of the matter is with B string and a choice band, you can really wreck some fighting weak Pokemon.
And that's what this deck preys on, is making sure the fighting weak.
So he was not able to find the Guzma, so you can tell James is having a moment of internal sorrow. That was what he needed to keep the tempo. If Jimmy gets a trades, Jimmy's able to get a Vespiquen down here, he could start to try to do a thing.
Well, we'll see if he can get it there. I mean, there's so few cards left. He could just start tearing through what James has left with that. He is going to touch the energy to it, so probably a good indication that Vespiquen isn't far off.
Now, an important thing to talk about for a second here is, if I'm keeping track of this correctly, it looks like another 70 damage knocks out the Zoroark GX, and another 100 damage knocks out the Tapu Lele. If he discards one more Pokemon, that could put us in a situation where he could Karina, Rescue Stretcher, or a Choreo double knockout 4-price turn.
That'd be big. That'd be a huge turn. So maybe getting that damage down with Sledgehammer not so silly now.
Yeah.
It may actually be
putting 2 energies on that bench Buzzwole means that Buzzwole can retreat.
Right.
So all he would need is, Karina and an energy, and assuming his Rescue Stretcher is not prized.
Yep, he's not relying on a float stone anymore.
And that Pokemon got discarded. He's at 17 now. Is he counting the Pokemon?
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, this is a rare situation where I feel like I almost knew what a good player was going to do in an obvious situation. So this is the commentating skills you were looking for.
Well, he's had a look.
Rescue Stretcher
in the
energy.
hand.
Jimmy O'Brien offers to shake. He says, "I'm good. Let's do this, guys."
Moving swiftly on.
Boom.
That's James finally winning his stream round. He's been talking about it for a while, but the 4-prize turn, he's counted all the Pokemon in the discard. Just for clarification, would be throwing it down on the Zoroark and the Tapu Lele, and that will have got him the win. The 4-prize turn is not a myth, Brent.
Guys, the commentating team saw that coming.
Well, you did.
I mean, this is like trainer Chip, Michael Slutsky right here. Commentating dream team. Unbelievable.
Me and Michael have similar hair.
Yeah, a little bit of that. You know what? I kind of always wished I had hair like that. It's not going so well. Not going so well. Are we going to try to get James Arnold on so we can talk about how he's finally figured out how to win on stream?
Let's finally talk to James.
All right.
We will go and grab him. I'm sure they're packing up decks and things, but we'll be back very shortly to talk to James about his Oricorio deck that he won that one with.
And I recognize we're probably going to have a little bit of a break here because top 8 is next.
Yep.
These are the moments that you've been watching this stream for the last 36 hours without changing channels to see. Top 8 is coming.
Sounds good. Anyway, we'll be back very, very shortly to talk to James.
The engineering team held it down.